All right. Just to do the recap stuff. So you got the papers and whatnot. The whole note equals the 4 beats, also equals the 4 quarter notes. So it's important to keep this in mind that a whole note is always going to equal what it equals. It doesn't matter what time signature you're in. A whole note can only equal 4 quarter notes or 4 beats. And now, one thing that's interesting about the time signature stuff here. There we go. Now I'm pointing at it. Now, the bottom number is saying what type of note value equals a beat. So in this case, 4/4. Remember, that means you have 4 quarter notes that equal the bar. You could very well make this an 8/8 time signature because it would be mathematically the same thing. You could also say it's a 1/1 time signature because one whole note would fill up the whole thing. But then you'd only be counting like 1 beat. So you'd be counting 1 the whole time and then playing everything else in that beat or in the bar. If it was 8/8, even though it's mathematically correct, you'd be counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's a pain in the butt. So 4/4 makes things a little easier. Pretty much all of us are used to counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for all kinds of stuff. So yeah, the half note always equals 2 quarter notes. In most cases, equals 2 beats. So the quarter note that's basically just your 1 note per beat, 1 note per click. And now the eighth notes we're going to be working with here, that's basically 2 notes a beat. And then again, the full eighth note count is the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So your foot and your hand are synced up the whole time. Every time the foot comes up, the hand goes up, and then hand goes down, foot goes down. So think of it like you got this rope or something attached from your hand to your foot, and they're always going together. They can't go apart. They're inseparable. The other thing, so when you do metronome work or you're following a drummer, that's the key. The key word, following. You're always following the person or the thing that sets the tempo or is giving you the beat. So one thing that's kind of weird for a lot of people is like a lot of guitar players, when they're learning to tap with their foot and keep the fluid rhythm and all that stuff and counting and all that, they think that they need to make their foot follow the hand. It's the opposite. Metronome or drummer, whatever, is the leader. After that comes your foot. Your foot and your head, whatever. I tap my head. Yeah, I'm doing this while I'm playing, right? I'm nodding my head and tapping my foot when I'm playing to follow the beat. So the beat's going first, then I'm tapping along with that, so the foot's second. The hands follow the feet. So even though we're doing all of this fancy stuff, metronome first, foot second, hands third. So yeah, I was very impressed today. You had really good timing following the slow 60 beats a minute pace. Most guys can't do it very well. Very good, very good. All right, so in demonstrating this, so you just got the 2 things to work on this week. And not a lot, but we had to spend a decent amount of time figuring out where you should really start the strumming work and all that. So now we know, and we'll see how things go next week. I'd imagine it's going to go pretty smooth. So basically, exercises number 4 and 5, and obviously you'll see them on the screen here. So only say the part of the count you play, and you have the speed you're going to do for both exercises 4 and 5 every day. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to play it at 60, 110, and 160. So kind of hit like in the middle there. So the starting speed, and then the halfway point there, and then 160, right? Okay, so count off 4, and then away we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and done. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and done. No need to have this last chord ring out all 4 beats. I'm just filling in the bar so it's mathematically correct. So you just hit that chord once and then you don't need to let it go all 4 counts. Alright, top speed I want you to work to. Now, in saying this also, so I had, going up by 20s as the bare minimum amount of speeds I want you to do. But at any time it starts to become a struggle with this exercise up on screen now or the next one, slow it down. Slow your increments down. Start going up by 5s instead of doing the 20 thing again. But yeah, use your best judgment there, okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Done. Yeah. So next week, bare minimum, I'll have you demonstrate everything at the 60 and the 160. So the slowest speed and the fastest speed, and see how those things go. Okay, hold on. Okay. There we go. So, you got the tied 8th note going on here. So we talked about in one of those papers, tied notes carrying over, like say this one, it could be tied over to that. So a chord can come in on beat 4, but it carries over into beat 1 of the next bar. So if you ever get mathematically correct, everything has to be filled out mathematically correct. So let's say maybe the question is like, well, how come I can't, if I want this chord to last 2 beats, how come I can't just make it a half note? That's because you have all this stuff here. That's, there's beat 1, total of a quarter note, 2, 3. So you got basically 3 quarter notes happening here. I'm simplifying. Obviously we have 2 eighth notes, but just we have a beat that equals a quarter note, right? The length of it. So you got 1, 2, 3. Well, this comes in on 4, and we only are allowed 4 beats per bar. Well, that's why you can't make it a half note. That would make it a time signature of 5/4. That would change things. So that's one of the useful things of having tied notes, is it can carry over into another bar. So doing it here, however, this allows you to see the beats beats put together a little easier. So before I play this, this is what it could look like. This is what it could look like and be mathematically correct. What am I? Well, if I can actually, do this the right way. Actually, we need to delete. Okay. So, compare how this looks versus this. Okay? So here, you can clearly see beat 1. But this grouping, or this pair, well, this is a beat and a half. This is also a beat and a half. Now, technically, this is perfectly fine. Mathematically, it is correct. However, visually, I think this is way easier to see. You clearly see beat 1. You clearly see beat 2. You clearly see beat 3. And you see, you don't play squat on the downbeat of beat number 3. So, that's why these the flags, the horizontal bar that connects the stems, this helps us see the beats better. That's why a lot of the stuff is grouped the way that they are, so we can see better where each beat is and what part of the beat we're playing on and all that stuff. Okay. So, that being said, yeah, sync the hand and foot up. So you will be doing an upstroke here. Make sure that here, on the downbeat of 3, move your right hand down. Move the strumming hand down, so this way you'll be able to do the next upstroke. Just keep back and forth, back and forth. All right, demonstration time. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Let's see if I can actually play this now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 4. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 4. Boom. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 4. Boom. All right, there we go. We will be doing guitar solo stuff. Just, you know, there's only so much we can do with each class. So, but we will get to it. I'm not forgetting it. I'm not gonna put it off for too long. We'll incorporate things here and there. So, but you know, one step at a time. But if you have any questions before next week, let me know, and we'll see you then.